of the season, and a lovely evening to you, and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. I am Lydia Ojiji-Ochi. Thank you for joining us. The federal government has reaffirmed that there was no pressure mounted on it at home or abroad that compelled the release of the convener of Revolution Now, Omoyele Sowore, and the former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, made the clarification in Abuja. Malami affirmed that the federal government released the two on compassionate grounds. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice maintained that the only reason for the release of Omoyele Sowore and Sambo Dasuki revolved around the government's commitment to the rule of law, obedience to court orders, and compassionate grounds. Malami, SAN, pointed out that as far as the law is concerned, in relation to the Nigerian justice system, one has multiple options after a court has ruled on a matter. These options, according to the minister, include the right to appeal the said ruling, the right to ask the same court that issued an order to vary or review the terms of the order, as well as the right to request for stay of execution of the order, pending the hearing and determination of an appeal in that matter. Malami denied the claim that his office has received any formal communication from any American senator on the matter, and that the discussion during the visit of the American ambassador to Nigeria at the event of the submission of letter of credence were not in any way connected to the accused persons. On Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zazaki, the minister said the federal government does not interfere with the cases that are being prosecuted by state governments.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos recently convicted the former governor of Abia State and chief whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu. He is currently serving a 12-year prison term as handed down by the court at the Kirikiri Correctional Facility in Lagos. Now, what is the position of law on a member of the Senate, now an ex-convict? Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk provides answers to this question.
The 1999 Constitution under Section 308 grants immunity to the President, Vice President, governors and their deputies from criminal prosecution. However, members of the National Assembly are not exempted from criminal prosecution while in office. One of the prerequisites for eligibility for aspiring for the position of office in the National Assembly is that one must not have been an ex-convict. However, if the aspirant to the office is standing trial for an offense bordering on fraud and dishonesty and has been convicted as long as he has exercised his right of appeal by challenging his conviction at the Court of Appeal, his eligibility to stand for election is, however, not vitiated.
The Constitution has provided under Section 66 that if somebody has been convicted for financial misconduct, he is not qualified. However, if he has an appeal pending, there will be no disqualification.
But now, he is still a member until the period within which he should appeal to the Court of Appeal would have lapsed, or the appeal would have been determined.
The 1999 Constitution, as amended, further envisages that an elected officer is subject to the rule of law. This was provided for under Section 68, subsection 1b of the Constitution. Flowing from the Constitution, what happens to the seat of a parliamentarian that is convicted, as in the case of Joshua Dariye, a member of the 8th Senate, and recently the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, who is the chief whip of the 9th Senate.
So once he files an appeal, he will remain a member of the National Assembly until the appeal is determined.
If you are in the parliament and you are convicted and you are on appeal, it does mean that Section 68B or thereabout will not be applicable.
The lacuna created by the absence of a parliamentarian voted by his people to represent their interests and expected to meet the mandatory 1/3 sitting obligation needs to be attended to. Therefore, can a convicted parliamentarian still discharge these constitutional duties while serving a prison term in a correctional service facility?
When a senator is convicted and sent to prison, and the amount of time he'll be spending in prison is such that will affect his tenure, either largely in saying this is going to come for like 2-3 years, or maybe even half of those people. I mean, people deserve effective representation. For me, at that point, if the sentence and the jail term is long enough to emasculate effective representation, which is the intent of being a senator, then that senator should automatically lose his seat.
This is the final arbiter on this matter. If this court upholds the decision of the trial court after its appeal at the appellate court, in line with section 68B of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Orji Uzor Kalu automatically loses his seat as a senator. However, if the Apex Court pronounces otherwise, he maintains his seat. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Dele. Reports just reaching us now say the Code of Conduct Tribunal has ordered Azuka Obiageli Azinge to step aside as the acting Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission over allegation of contravening the provisions of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act. The acting chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, gave the order after the arraignment of the defendant. The tribunal also ordered the Minister of Trade and Industry and the chairman of the board of CAC to appoint the next most senior director to take over the position in acting capacity. The matter has been adjourned to January 6, 2020. Now to security reports. The Chief of the Air Staff has commended personnel of the Nigerian Air Force for maintaining cordial civil-military relations while defending the nation's territorial integrity. This was while visiting personnel in Yola, Maiduguri and Katsina. Correspondent Naja'atu Tijani has more.
Known for defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria, the personnel of the Nigerian Air Force have taken a moment from their duties to celebrate the Yuletide with members of various host communities. In Yola, Adamawa State, personnel dined on various delicacies while being entertained by local dance troupes. In a message by the Chief of the Air Staff delivered by the Commander, Air Task Force Operation Laifia Adoli, the personnel were commended for hard work and urged to sustain the tempo in order to rid the northeast of terrorist elements.
And to enable people go about their businesses in peace and harmony.
It is with your support that the administration have been able to live up to the expectations of its citizens.
The ambience was similar in Maiduguri, Borno State, where the Air Task Force of Operation Laifia Adoli is waging a sustained onslaught against terrorists. The Chief of the Air Staff, in a message delivered by the Chief of Training and Operations, urged the officers and men not to relent in the fight against the non-state actors.
Conducting now, we expect them to redouble their efforts so that we can bring this operation or the war to an end.
Meanwhile, in Katsina State, hosting the 213 Forward Operations Base and the Quick Response Wing, officers and men kicked off their boots to enjoy various local delicacies and entertainment by a local dance troupe. The Chief of the Air Staff, in a message delivered by the Air Officer Commanding Special Operations Command, commended the personnel for maintaining cordial civil-military relations and adhering to the rules of engagement while defending the territorial integrity of the nation.
This levels of efficiency in combat service delivery while being away from your loved ones during festive seasons such as this clearly demonstrates your patriotic acts of placing service before self.
The Christmas lunch for personnel is a tradition held in recognition of the sacrifice made by personnel across the country. And after the lunch, it will be back to work, defending the nation as usual. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assured the government and people of Burkina Faso who suffered a deadly terrorist attack that claimed 35 citizens that Nigeria and the West African sub-region will not abandon them to their fate. Speaking on the attack carried out on Tuesday in Arbinda, northern part of the country, in a statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president said the slaying of 31 women among the innocent victims was cowardly and remains condemned by reasonable opinion all over the world. President Buhari also recalled his meeting last weekend with the country's president, Roch Marc Christian Kabore, on the sidelines of the ECOWAS meeting, on which both leaders agreed to hold a summit in the new year to discuss the issues of security and the economy. A young man of 25 years has been apprehended by aviation security personnel manning the Charlie 1 C1 link area of the Murtala Mohammed Airport for attempting to obstruct an Air Peace aircraft numbered APK 7252 and registration number CSTQU. In a statement by FAN General Manager Corporate Affairs Henrietta Yakubu, the young man was moving towards a taxiing aircraft while efforts to stop him failed until security personnel on duty called for reinforcement and alerted the pilot of the aircraft, who delayed takeoff to allow for a successful apprehension. The statement further stated that the aircraft was advised to return to base for necessary safety checks in line with standard procedures before departing Lagos at 16 minutes past 10 in the morning with 171 passengers and 6 crew members on board. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has paid the October and November 2019 backlog allowances of beneficiaries of the NPOWER program before December 2019, as promised by the Minister, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk. The NPOWER program, with 500,000 volunteers engaged as teachers, health workers, and agricultural extension officers, among other fields, are deployed to various locations throughout the country, offering their services to Nigerians. Each participant is paid a stipend of 30,000 monthly. The minister promised the sustenance of prompt payment to enable the program achieve its goals of improving the well-being of Nigerians. Meanwhile, empowering the citizenry, especially internally displaced persons, have become imperative in enhancing the socio-economic well-being of the nation. In view of this, Simon Asha reports that internally displaced persons in Hong and Michika local government areas of Adamawa State, who went through a week-long training on modern agricultural farming techniques organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, have been provided with starter packs to be self-employed.
A cross-section of IDPs taking part to receive their certificates and starter packs after undergoing training on modern farming techniques.
Gathered here are internally displaced persons in Hong local government area of Adamawa State, one of the local government affected by Boko Haram insurgents, whose socio-economic activities have been affected over the years.
However, they now breathe a sigh of relief following this succor provided by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
I have never known something like this, but attending this program have made me to enjoy this, and I am very happy about it.
With this, somebody can make up, and like me now, I can make it up to start farming, and then make it up like harvesting and like say to get capital.
With this thing, I can be able to start my own farm, and I think with this, I will get a capital. By next year, I won't be harvesting only the input of this. Maybe after this one, I will be getting much more. I will still keep on farming.
98 internally displaced persons have so far benefited from the skill acquisition and provision of starter packs of modern agricultural skills. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
Local rice production in Nigeria has hit a record level, meeting domestic demands, notwithstanding desperate efforts by smugglers to frustrate government initiative in curtailing importation. Mohammed Umar Ajinge reports that the Nigerian Customs Service says the battle against importation of the commodity must be sustained and won.
Establishing the fact that local rice is available in Nigerian market is not far-fetched. Take a look at this. They are all made in Nigeria rice. This puts smile on the faces of businessmen such as Aliyu Ibrahim. He says he has sold more than 2,000 bags of locally produced rice during this festive season.
From this Christmas, I sold more than 1,000 or 2,000 bags. So I can say, alhamdulillah, from the beginning of this December to this 26th, I can say, mashallah.
Protecting Aliyu's business, the interests of other Nigerians and the economy by promoting local production through value chain addition to rice is what the Nigerian Customs Service seeks to achieve with the ban on importation of the commodity.
We have so far seized about 5,143 bags of 50 kg foreign parboiled rice from September to date. We have collected customs duty of about 1,123,438,664 naira so far.
While reiterating the commitment of the Nigerian Customs to fighting any act capable of jeopardizing the growth of the nation's economy, the controller called for understanding of the public to enable them win the war against smuggling. In Kaduna, Muhammad Murajingi, NTA News.
It's now time to take our first break on Nationwide. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying. Hingino is standing by in Lagos for more reports on Nationwide. Compliments of the season, Hingino.
Thank you, Lydia, and a warm welcome to Lagos. We begin in Lagos with infrastructure. Lagos State government is demonstrating its resolve to execute projects and programs that are driven by the needs of the people. This informed the inauguration of 31 network of roads of more than 20 kilometers in Ojokoro Local Council Development Area of the state, Nosa Osula reports.
Governor Sanwo-Olu explained that good road network facilitates effective management of traffic and transport, thereby boosting socio-economic activities in the state.
It remains your property, it remains your asset, and you must keep it in good use. Make sure that you are your brother's keeper. It is no longer government, it is no longer Lausa, it is now in your possession. Try and maintain and manage it, because there's so many other places we need to go to, so many other local government. Please, let's just keep it.
The governor stated that the provision of road infrastructure is central to the delivery of the themes agenda of his administration, adding that tourism and entertainment are better appreciated when access to the venue is relatively stress-free.
And if you realize that any damage in the years to come, before it turns to a big major problem, raise through your honorable member of House of Assembly or your honorable member of House of Rep or your community leaders, let us get it in Alausa so that we can come and fix it.
The governor assured residents that drainages were also done with the roads, which he said would help to deflood the environment, while the street lights will complement the security architecture of the state. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The Papa Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has made a seizure of 112 containers of various items that flaunted import procedures valued at 12.8 billion naira. Controller at Papa Command, Mohammed Abakura, disclosed this during an inspection of the consignment in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
Notable among these items are expired rice, tomato paste, vegetable oil and pharmaceutical products that were imported without approval from regulatory agencies. The controller at Papa Area Command, Mohammed Abakura, cautioned consumers of rice, especially at this festive season, to beware of patronizing foreign rice, as the command made a seizure of 2 containers of empty bags of rice imported for the packaging of expired rice for the Nigerian markets.
They had some before. The advice I would advise Nigerians is that they should not buy any foreign rice, no matter how cheap it is. Even if they are calling them to come and take free, they should not accept. Because we don't want to go to so many funerals.
In the area of revenue generation, Mohammed Abakura said The command was able to rake in more than 430 billion naira in 2019, which is more than 9 billion naira above what was generated in 2018. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
Michael Olale there. Now, cases of fire outbreaks in Lagos State and other parts of Nigeria have become a perennial one, leading to loss of lives and property. As the harmattan sets in, the Lagos State Fire Service has engaged the public on precautionary measures to avert fire outbreaks and possible ways to approach fire outbreaks when confronted with one. Annie Daniels reports that it is tagged zero tolerance for uncontrollable fire outbreaks.
Harmattan has not come, so I'm wondering.
A Lagos resident there lamenting the absence of harmattan. However, the harmattan is here, and there are fears from a cross-section of Lagos residents that fire outbreaks is inevitable, going by past experience. Respondents also complained that due to late arrival of firefighting experts, lives and property were lost. The acting head, Lagos State Fire Service, Margaret Adesheye, denies the allegations. She cited late calls, bad roads, gridlocks, attitude of motorists to sirens, and wrong addressing system as among reasons for late response to fire outbreak.
When we are going for an emergency, you will see hoodlums attacking men. They fail to call us as at the time the fire started.
To further educate the public on the need to avoid careless handling of fire-igniting agents and steps to take in case of fire outbreaks, the service engaged its personnel in an evacuation drill exercise. Nigerians are advised to put their gas cylinders outside, close to exit points. Electrical appliances to be turned off when not in use. Cigarette ends should be properly disposed, and fire extinguishers should be in every home and office. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Talking education now, actualizing a conducive learning environment through provision of modern technology and entrepreneurial skills is key to enable students explore their potential. Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, stated this at the 2019 Media Parley organized by the institution. Abolore Ogbara reports.
As part of efforts to improve the process of learning in the institution, the Vice Chancellor said the management is working with formidable teams to equip students with basic requirements for quality education and instill in them highest moral values and intellectual leadership skills. He emphasized that the institution will continue to contribute its quota towards nation building. The Vice Chancellor highlighted some of the achievements recorded by the institution in the year under review.
Recently, we were able to harvest the publications from different faculties within the University of Lagos, and we found that our colleagues, they have published severally and widely. That was part of the reason why the university was highly ranked this year between 800 and 1,000.
In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. It's now back to Lydia in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Hingino. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Comrade Amitolu Shitu at 55, describing him as an irrepressible social activist. In a statement, the president recalls Amitolu's long and close relationship with human rights lawyer Chief Gani Fawehimi, rising to become Deputy National Chairman of National Conscience Party, NCP. While commending him for keeping the memory of his mentor evergreen, the president wishes Amitolu greater years of service to his fatherland. It's now time to join Agatha in Benin Network Center for more reports. How are you doing, Agatha?
Very well, Lydia. Compliments of the season and a warm welcome to Benin. Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has assured returnees of his administration's resolve to create more opportunities for them and other youths in the state. He gave the assurance at an interactive forum organized by the State Task Force Against Human Trafficking. Goodluck Inaini reports.
is an opportunity to meet and interact with the governor on his administration's role in reintegrating them into society after their return from Libya. For Governor Godwin Obaseki, the best opportunity is to empower the youth and get them meaningfully engaged.
Give them good education that can give them jobs. Give them water. Give them light. Give them the basic amenities they need to live in their community. And from what I have seen in the government, there's a lot of money to do it.
Chairperson, Edo State Task Force Against Human Trafficking, Professor Yinka Omorogbe, described the synergy between the state government and the returnees as rewarding.
Thank you for the fact that you have changed these bad experiences into something good in the lives of so many of them.
One of the returnees, Mr. Musa Okundia, wants the governor to check the activities of some NGOs who take advantage of the migrants to make money without effort to empower them. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NT News.
Families of 8 civil servants in Edo State who died in active service have received checks worth 18.4 million naira from the state government. Again, Goodluck Inaini reports that it is part of life insurance policy of deceased employees under the contributory pensions scheme.
Governor Obaseki, while commiserating with the families of the deceased, appreciated the contributions of the deceased officers to the development of the state.
We are glad that we started this. That even without you going to look for anybody or go through the tedious process of bureaucracy. I undertake this sort of function so that other people can know that what we're doing is real. It is not another government flux. We have decided to extend this contributory arrangement to the local governments because I believe that what is good for the state civil servants should be good for the local government workers because government is government. If one part of government is enjoying something and it is good for them, why not expand it and extend it? So minimum wage or no minimum wage, I feel that in addition to minimum wage, people must have the certainty.
Chairman of the state chapters of the NLC and TUC expressed gratitude to the state government for the gesture. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NT News.
Now, it was honor from the home front when people of Afemai rolled out the drums to welcome and celebrate the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba. The ceremony provided the opportunity for the people to commend President Muhammadu Buhari for the honor done Afemai land. These traditional rulers and people are grateful to President Buhari for the honor of having the first minister of Afemai extraction since the return to civil rule in 1999. They are also celebrating that this Prince of Uzarwe, whose sway in Edo State as Commissioner of Environment led to a major breakthrough in the state environmental management, is the choice of the president.
Appreciate God for giving us this young man as a Minister of State because I have known him for quite some time as a very honest man, a very smart young man, someone who has rich experience that he can fall back on. I have absolute confidence in him that he will do very well, and he should rest assured that we'll continue to pray for him and we'll continue to also guide to ensure that he makes the best of this assignment.
Prince Agba is happy.
I feel deeply touched and I also feel greatly honored. Usually people will say that a prophet is not recognized in his home, but this is home for me and I'm recognized. So it means I'm a good prophet.
This is the first in a series of celebration lined up for the minister by his people. That ends our package. Lydia, it's back to you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. The diverse and rich cultural heritage of Nigeria could serve as catalyst for unity and peaceful coexistence amongst the people if properly harnessed. This is what the Cross River State Government intends to achieve with its annual cultural carnival. Justina Etim reports that 22 states participated in the 2019 cultural carnival held in Calabar.
Participants moved along the 6 kilometers route, pausing at designated points, entertaining the audience with energetic and enthralling dance steps. Beyond mere entertainment, these performances speak volumes of the unique cultural background of the 22 states and 15 local government areas represented in the cultural carnival. Earlier, while flagging off the event, the Cross River State Deputy Governor, Professor Ivaresu, revealed that the newly created Ministry of Humanity and Social Welfare is to promote ideals which the 2019 Carnival theme, Humanity, depicts.
People get to know each other and they know how other people live and what they do, what makes them who they are, what makes them behave the way they do. So it promotes understanding.
Since its inception, the Cultural Carnival and Carnival Calabar have not only become a means for boosting the state's economy, but have engaged talented youths, thereby curtailing restiveness.
There is a drastic reduction in the crime rate, especially after the introduction of Carnival in Cross River State as a whole.
By the time they grow up to be adults, they should be able to understand our culture very, very deeply.
Amongst the states represented in the Cultural Carnival are Katsina State, Ebonyi, Enugu, Plateau, Gombe, Akwa Ibom, and more. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
From Calabar, we now go to Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by with more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Kemi.
Media and welcome to Ibadan. In the spirit of the Yuletide, the Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun says it's only right for him to show appreciation for God's faithfulness by ensuring that the impact of good governance spreads across the nooks and crannies of Ogun State. The governor stated this during a Christmas party in Ikperurem, Ogun State. Lukman Adefeso's report is here presented.
This year's Christmas service is a significant one to the governor of Ogun State, being the first to be celebrated since assumption of office. A glorious morning it was in the presence of God, as worshippers imbibe attitude of praise to God for witnessing this year's Christmas. The priest, Venerable Shedrack Ajileye, enjoins the congregations to remember the significance of Christmas and inculcate the lessons surrounding the birth of Jesus Christ into their lives. He stressed the importance of peace to mankind and the need for people to give their lives to Christ.
I want to promise Ogun State people that we will live up to our words and the expectations of the people that have entrusted us with this mandate. We will continue to be thoughtful, we will continue to be very deliberate, we will continue to be very purposeful, we will continue to be very methodical in everything that we do. And I want to wish everyone a joyful season.
He, however, enjoined people not only to engage in merrymaking during Christmas, but be Christ-like in all their activities.
Away from the Yuletide, the role of laboratory technologists in research, development and technological advancement calls for training and retraining of practitioners. In view of this, the Nigerian Institute of Science and Laboratory Technology intensifies efforts to eliminate quackery in the profession. Ifeoluwa Moshule has the details.
The training is meant to equip the members of the team with appropriate skills in monitoring and evaluation. It is also a tool adopted by the body to eradicate non-professionalism in the management and administration of all laboratories in the country. The Director General of the Institute expressed readiness to achieve the objectives of the organization through inspection of all laboratories across the country.
Large number of people who are not even the professional member of the institute. The players of laboratory do engage them in.
We realize for now, for us to move on, this training must come around so that we can also tell those who will go out to do the monitoring.
The Nigerian Institute of Science Technology, inaugurated in 1971 and enacted in June 2003, is saddled with the responsibility of training, examination and certification of science laboratory technologists in the country. In Ibadan, Ifeoluwa Moshule, NTA News.
Relief is gradually coming the way of rural dwellers in Kwara State, whose commerce has suffered for a long time as a result of bad roads. The people of Patigi in Patigi local government area are the first beneficiaries as the government takes on the deplorable roads in the emirate. Hamad Falani reports.
Patigi, a town in Kwara State, Nigeria, is the headquarters of Patigi local government and Patigi Emirate, with a population of about 110,000. It is inhabited by the Nope people, who are farmers, fishermen, and traders. Despite the economic importance of the town to the state, it is faced with many challenges, paramount of which is bad road network.
He came and he realized the road was really in a shambles, and within 2-3 days, you can see what's happening. It's already graded. So you can see as an action governor, head on, hands on.
The commissioners also inspected Pata Esugin Road, which leads to the popular sea border between Kwara and Niger State, to access the state of the roads. The Etsu Patigi, Alhaji Ibrahim Omar Bologi too, commended the intervention of the state government in the construction of road network in Patigi town. From Patigi, Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. More reports on Nationwide after the break. Don't go away.
You're on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's join Sadia in Sokoto for more reports. Hello, Sadia.
Lydia, welcome to Sokoto. Over the years, period of Christmas and New Year were characterized by scarcity of fuel and long queues in filling stations that have the product. In this report, Sheikh Muhammad Detti tells us the situation in Sokoto this year. The report.
Unlike previous years, this is the situation at filling stations where motorists get fuel easily without queue.
Government airports this year, because no scarcity of where people who travel where nobody sleep in the filling station. We are very grateful to God and the government for making it available this time around.
There is steadiness of supply and everything is going on smoothly.
Stakeholders attribute the availability of the product this year to government policies, affordable price, and constant supply.
It has to do with the government's efforts. It has taken about 6 good months now. The price of the product is at stable, at government price. And the availability of the product is always constant between Lagos, Warri, and Port Harcourt.
Department of Petroleum Resources said despite the festive period, and the products have been allocated to the Sokoto zone.
We have intensified also our surveillance activities in the 2 states of Sokoto and Kebbi states, just to make sure that fuel has reached the general public or the motorists without any hitches.
Stakeholders are of the view that maintaining current policies on supply of petroleum products will afford marketers enough products and improve the lives of the citizens. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Now in Zamfara State, motorists and the general public have commended the federal government for ensuring availability of petroleum products during the 2019 Yuletide. Sadia Abubakar, who went round some filling stations in Gusau and environs, reports that the long queues that used to characterize the period have now become history. The report.
It had become an annual phenomenon for Nigerians to experience fuel scarcity during Yuletide, which could last for months, thereby subjecting the populace to untold hardship. As Nigerians count down to the end of the 2019, NTA News went round some filling stations in Gusau metropolis to find out the current situation. At all the filling stations visited, it was discovered that there was availability of the commodity waiting for motorists to buy at government-controlled price. Some motorists commended the federal government for this development, hoping that the situation will be maintained.
We appreciate Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and his cabinet. Marketers, they should cooperate with the government so that, because if they sabotage, even they will suffer.
The Comptroller, Department of Petroleum Resources, Zamfara State Office, Alhaji Haruna Ango said adequate arrangement has been made to ensure the availability of the commodity throughout the Yuletide and beyond. He also commended petroleum workers for maintaining government-controlled price despite enormous challenges in the business.
DPR has been intensifying on surveillance in all DPR locations nationwide. That's why some of us were unable to go for our Xmas leave to make sure that we go around the filling stations within our control area.
Sadia Abubakar, NTA News.
That's it from Sokoto. It's now back to Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Sadia. Still on availability of fuel. Motorists accessing Nasarawa State to crisscross parts of Nigeria no longer experience hardship from the lack of fuel or wait endlessly on queues as government put measures in place to ensure availability of the commodity. From Lafia, Issa Muhammad has more.
The experiences of the past, it is heartwarming for motorists and passengers getting the commodity with ease as guarantee for their trips ahead. The queues are practically missing in all stations except for a little wait to be served. Motorists commend the federal government for achieving the initiative of uninterrupted fuel supply, saying it shows good governance of the sector, and hope that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation will sustain it.
The former shabby business is now gone. Therefore, we give kudos to the federal government by putting measures in place to checkmate the excesses that we've been experiencing.
Christmas we were suffering before for fuel scarcity, but this time around it's not like that. So we thank Allah, we thank the government. Let them continue doing like that. We support them.
Meanwhile, the Department of Petroleum Resources says it's monitoring sales at government-approved price as other regulations continue to apply to make the system working.
This is the popular Lafia NNPC mega station, which at festive period like this experiences long queue to the neighboring Shabu community. But as you can see, the long queue has disappeared owing to the availability of the commodity at government-approved price. In Lafia, I am Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Many thanks, Issa. Also from Ado-Ekiti, Nigerians have commended President Muhammadu Buhari for restoring sanity in the oil sector, which has made petroleum products to be in adequate supply during the Yuletide compared with unbearable and painful experiences of the past. Yemi Dalemo interacted with some commuters who gave the commendation in Ado-Ekiti.
Before now, scarcity of petroleum products usually marked Christmas and New Year celebrations, but since the current administration came into office in 2015, the story has changed for ensuring adequate supply of petroleum products, especially during this festive season. Nigerian Praise President Muhammadu Buhari, Alhaji Sulaiman Akinbami and Abimbola Famoyegun, petroleum marketers in Ado-Ekiti, explained that getting the products from depot during the crisis period is usually survival of the fittest and full of corruption, which has now become a thing of the past.
To describe what we are experiencing there, by now, it will be scrambling. We usually scramble at the depot, playing, all sort of,
So I think the fuel supply is better than it used to be before. There is no queue in any police station. You enter, you buy your fuel, then you go.
Motorists also pray not to experience the dark ages again.
This year is better. It has improved. And it allows us to enjoy this Christmas very well. I will thank the federal government for this.
The fuel is okay. No scarcity, no problem. We also always enjoy it.
They praise the federal government for tackling hoarding and diversion, particularly through the closure of the nation's land borders, saying there is no wasting of time while buying petrol in any filling stations now across the country. In Ado-Ekiti, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
And that ends Nationwide. Thank you for watching. This is wishing you a wonderful weekend ahead and compliments of the season. I'm Lydia. Thanks for now.